What would happen if all penalties were revoked on 401ks and IRAs? And if you didn't have to pay all the taxes up front, how good of a day would it be? The game has changed. The government has loosened things up a little bit. I'm not a market guy. You know, I go into real estate, I'm averaging 25% annual ROI. Today might be like one of the very best days of the entire year. Guess what? The government just changed the rules on 401ks and IRAs. You can finally invest in real estate and do all sorts of things and not have your money beholden to the government. I'm headed in office, and today I'm going to be with Dan Geltrude, America's accountant, and we're gonna actually dig into the rules with 401ks and IRAs. We're gonna find out if it's true that you don't have to pay taxes and penalties. We're also gonna find out what your tax situation looks like, because it looks like it's about to be massively improved. AKA, no more fear, take the money and start making better financial choices. Good can come from the coronavirus.
Dan, when you tell us you can't make it to the studio, that's when I'm going to get nervous. But until then,
don't worry about that, Charles. If you're here, I'm here.
Dan knows of what he speaks. He has a very good gut. The Karma King of Cash is here. And Money Maestro Dan Geltrude on the Good Financial Karma.
America's accountant, Dan Geltrude, managing director of Geltrude and Company.
I'm joined again by Dan Geltrude, America's accountant. He's on TV all the time providing financial advice. And today, Dan, I'm coming at you requesting some information about the changes that have happened with 401ks, IRAs, basically qualified funds. The game has changed. The government has loosened things up a little bit.
Yeah, they have. And you know, a lot of people have this nest egg 401k money for a rainy day / retirement. Well, you know what? The rainy day has arrived. So I'm happy to see that the government is relaxing some of the rules, allowing people to be able to get to their money. So you want to take advantage of that. But even though some of the rules are being relaxed, what I want to warn people about, Kris, is this. We also know the market is down. And when you're in the stock market, the game is not to sell low and buy high. Right. So you need to be careful about those investments that you're considering selling in order to pull some money out of there, because you don't want to lose money in this process. So we want to be mindful of that.
You know, statistically, it takes about 3 years for a stock market to recover after a fallout before you get back to dollar for dollar. And I think, Dan, you're giving Americans really good advice right now. One of the things that I've often encouraged people to do is to create greater financial control over their own lives by accessing 401ks and IRAs and investing in real estate, beating the market, producing higher ROIs. And they want to do that. But I would have to tell you the two biggest reasons why people don't, when they don't, is number one, they treat that 10% penalty like it's life or death. That idea of 10% coming out of the account, it hits them like a bull. But on top of that, then they're like, but once I pull it out, now I'm taxed on all of this. So how have the rules of the game changed that actually remove these two barriers?
So what's happening now, Kris, and what I would tell people is you take the money out if you need it. This isn't just should be, release the pigeons here and go get the money. No, this needs to be for a purpose. So if you really need to get at this money, and it means you're going to have to sell investments like what we just talked about. So you pull that money out, pull it out as a loan. Let's not just pull it out permanently. So if you pull it out as a loan, Kris, you're not going to be subject to the 10% penalty, and you're not going to have those taxes hit. So you're going to want to take that money, use it temporarily, get us through this rough patch, and then you can start to pay it back thereafter. Now you're paying yourself instead of paying the government.
You know, Dan, I think that is probably the more prudent path. But my understanding is technically if someone wanted to take it out, that the 10% penalty is now gone, even for removal without a loan. You don't have to pay it back. And now they're saying the taxes, instead of being hit up in year one, they're going to be spread over those 3 years, which basically really can remove that to, for some people, a very inconsequential amount. Is that your understanding as well?
Yes, and that also is very advantageous. Look, the primary reason, as you said before, that people don't want to take their 401k money out is because they don't want that 10% penalty. And that's how it should be to some extent, because the government is trying to force us all to save for retirement. But yes, if you're in a situation now where you can pay that tax over 3 years instead of having to pay it all in the year of withdrawal, yes, that's another benefit. But again, I want to caution everybody to say, only take it if you need it. Keep it in there. Let it keep growing if you can. That's its purpose.
And I'm going to tell you right now, this is where Dan and I, we meet in the middle on so many points, and then we butt heads on others. Like where we meet in the middle is that Dan's firm is helping small business owners actually get the free money from the government, which is tricky because a lot of people don't know how to navigate the paperwork. If they don't do it correctly, it might be treated as a loan that doesn't get forgiven. Dan's got his team and expertise on that. By the way, I just got to say, if you're a small business owner and you have expenses and you would like to have the government help reimburse them and get the details on that, then I want you to click the link below, reach out to Dan and his team. They will actually show you how to get that free government money. But I'll tell you where Dan, you and I box a little bit is, I'm not a market guy. I go into real estate, I'm averaging 25% annual ROI. So I'm always pleading with people, get your money out of the 401ks and IRAs and actually do something significant. And in the past, it's been, there's a penalty hit, there's a tax hit, and those have been greatly diminished. I'm hoping that more of my brothers and sisters will say, hey, this could be an opportunity for me to actually take more control over my financial life. But to your credit, Dan, only if they do it the right way. Taking that money out and consuming it, taking that money out and doing stupid stuff. People need to be very, 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 very careful of that. Recessions for me is when we boom. The worst of times for most people is my best of times because I like to show people how to run in the opposite direction. And by the way, for those business owners that are out there, Dan, I know you would agree on this. For the business owners that are out there right now, you have to pivot and innovate so that you figure out how to actually be functional in this type of crisis. If you can figure that out, you're going to be a rock star when this is over.
That's exactly right, Kris. This is the time to evolve and to move and get ahead of the curve. It's not survival of the fittest. It's survival for those that can adapt. So it's beyond Darwinism here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Listen, I want to thank all of you for watching today. This whole episode is just informing you. No more penalties on 401ks and IRAs. Your taxes are spread over 3 years. For most of you, that means that money can come out. Take Dan's advice and only do smart and intelligent things and only what you need to. Because in 3 years when the market's back up, you might feel like a dummy for taking out expensive money, right? On the other hand, if you have superior options that you have confidence and belief in, I'm telling you right now, this is something that some of you have been waiting for because you felt handcuffed by legislation, by policies that are telling you what you can and can't do. And right now the floodgates are open. We don't know how long they're going to be open, but be smart, be intelligent, think like an investor, think like a producer, someone building value, someone earning money instead of a consumer that is just literally whittling that retirement funds down so that you got nothing. Dan, any final advice for our viewers here as far as 401ks, IRAs, and the new rules?
I think you just said it perfectly, Kris. This is the time to be really smart. You got to be nimble because you got to make some quick decisions here based upon your financial circumstances, but you don't want to be too far out in front here and not make the right decision. So make sure you're consulting with the people who can really guide you through the process.
Dan, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. As always, I appreciate you as America's accountant giving us the best financial advice that's out there. And listen up. If you are not subscribed to this channel, don't go another day making that mistake. Hit that button. And if you thought this was useful, share it, smash that like button. It tells YouTube that this is worthy for them to share with other people as well. That's a help to me to have as much influence as we can on this important financial information. Other than that, leave your comments and thoughts below. And if you are a business owner that is struggling or doing well and you want to know what it looks like to get your hands on that big time free government money, click the link below, get with my man Dan. He'll walk you through exactly what that looks like and make sure that you do it the right way. Are you kidding me? 401ks, IRAs, no penalties, taxes paid over 3 years. Like, this is Christmas come early. If you've been putting money towards retirement and not believing it's gonna be enough, get it out now and start doing that's more intelligent. Guys, I teach people how to do this stuff. I'm averaging a 25% annual ROI. If you don't know how to do that, click the link below. And also, Dan Geltrude is helping people get that free government money. If you have a business that is struggling, my friends, if you don't have that right now and you want access to that money, click those links, get the help that you need, get your money out, put it in your hands, be in control of your own financial future. Let's crush it.